I think financial literacy is low within the African continent.
Yeah.
And we are making giant strides to make sure that financial literacy and financial inclusion is now on the agenda of many global institutions.
Yeah.
If you look at the penetration of banking into Africa, only 24% of the entire population of Africa has an account with a financial institution, as opposed to some of the other countries, more developed countries, where penetration is as high as 91%. So a few things here. One is financial literacy. The subsistence that he's talking about holds good. Africa is a young population. It's a population that is moving from where it is into a different income bracket altogether. And we are now almost operating in Kenya. Some of the banks in Kenya, whether they are Islamic or conventional, there are 2 Islamic banks in Kenya, would be operating on a very, very basic level. Not because they don't know what to do, it's because that's not what is required by the customers. Today, telco providers in Africa are banks themselves, right? So telco is now moving into, because of penetration into parts of Africa, telco is now trying to step into the shoes of banks. And I think
Safaricom is already...
Absolutely. So when you look at telco providers in countries like countries of the African continent, they are far more superior, because you may not have a bank account, but the mobile penetration in African continent is more than anywhere in the world. So you may not have a bank account, but you may have a mobile. So what telco operators have started to realize is that let's target the customer base by allowing them to use their handheld devices in order to do transactions. So I think to a very large extent, financial literacy is required, and it would only start enhancing itself in standards if global players start going into the African continent. And there are some very large global players that are operating within Africa.
Well,